We are live, I believe. Oh, sort that out. What's going on, people? How do you do? How you doing? Welcome back to Real Reds Talk. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. We have a massive update on Harry Maguire's situation as he's been talking to the media after that shit England performance last night. Current Dutch managers Jordi Cruyff and Ronald Koeman have been singing Ten Hag's praises, and they believe Ten Hag will bring back United back to their respectful place. Lisandro Martinez has played a full 90 minutes last night, and there's a few quotes on him that I want to dig into as well. So yeah, we've got a good few things to dive into. But before we do that, please subscribe to the channel. I'm just sorting this thing out. Bear with me. Don't you just love YouTube when it's just like fucking stretching everywhere, all over the place? Right. We'll start again. I don't like that intro. I think we're going to start again. We're going to do it again. Okay, hello. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Real Reds Talk. We have a massive update on Harry Maguire's situation as he's been talking to the media after that shit England performance last night. Current Dutch managers Jordi Cruyff and Ronald Koeman have been singing Ten Hag's praises, and they believe he will bring Manchester United back to where they should be. And Lisandro Martinez played a full 90 minutes last night for Argentina. There's a couple of quotes surrounding him that I want to jump into as well. So, yeah, before I do that, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. We're close to 600 subs now, and we can only do it with your help. So I'm going to start off with the Harry Maguire interview that he done with Talksport. And then as soon as them two names come together, I'm just like, ugh. Do you know what I mean? Talksport and Maguire, it's never going to mix well, is it? It's like putting fucking petrol and fire in a room. It just does not mix well whatsoever. But I'm going to dive into these comments, and as I go through them, let me know your thoughts on it and get in the comment section as well. So when asked about his situation, Maguire told Talksport, "I'm all good, ready to play. I feel fit, fresh. On my form, I don't know what has been said. I don't really read about it." Now, it's a bit of a political answer, which you do expect from an England international. He said he doesn't read about it, but come on, how can you not? It's absolutely this story on Maguire in a minute that got released from ESPN, and there's a couple of other outlets that I've mentioned a few quotes on it. It's absolutely everywhere. How can you not notice it? It's like, you know, when you're in like a gym like David Lloyd or something, and he's an old geezer with his plums out, and you just kind of like don't know where to look. That's like the Maguire story at the minute. It's everywhere. You cannot miss it. It's hanging at eye line level, if you know what I'm saying. So he definitely notices it. But he's obviously has to provide a kind of political answer, doesn't he? It is what it is. He said, "I come off the back of 3 positive games with England this summer and had a good pre-season. I felt really good. Obviously, the manager, Erik Ten Hag, decided to leave me out for a game, and the team have been winning ever since." For me, playing well for England and playing well in friendlies and pre-season doesn't cut the mustard when you play at the highest level in the Premier League and European football. We had players like Andreas Pereira who would always put in solid performances in pre-season. Then when it got to actually, you know, the bit that you want them to perform in, they never showed up. So I feel like someone should, at this point in time, should just grab Harry Maguire, take him to whatever the nearest cinema is, and just say, right, we're going to book this out just for an hour, maybe 2. They'll probably need 2 hours, to be honest, and just put every single time he's fucked up or made a mistake or was just not aware of a situation going on the pitch. Put that in front of Harry Maguire. You'll probably be there for about an hour or 2 hours, like I said, and make him realise how bad he has been over the past 12 months, because he has been shocking, absolutely shocking. And he seems to have this kind of like false perception of where he is. I think the title United captain and a starter for England gives him like a sense of entitlement, like he should be where he is, or he shouldn't be left out of the squad. But he's not. I feel like he doesn't watch video analysis back on his performances. Surely he watches back and goes, "Fucking hell, why did I do that? Why was I completely out of position? Why was I falling over my own feet? Why did I not read that? Why did I go for that header and completely miss it?" Like these little things, he doesn't see it. So strange one. He says, "I'm working hard on the training pitch to make sure I am ready for when my opportunity comes. That is all what I can do to try and help the team." And look, that kind of answers what you want from a fan's perspective. In fairness, you crack on with your work, you keep your head down, although it might be heavy, and you know you try to improve every day in, day out. That's what you want. But the only issue is with Harry Maguire. So there's 2 things for me. Sam mentioned it on the show last night. His mobility and his pace. Two things you cannot improve on the training ground. They are nothing to do with technique, certain drills. It is a physical issue. And in the modern day, especially in the Premier League, he will always get exposed in a high line and he will struggle to recover. So you cannot go into training and go, boss, right, ignore the heading drills and the defensive and the keeping the line, all that kind of stuff. Just forget about it. I need to work on my mobility and speed. You can't improve it. It's not something you can improve. Otherwise, I'd be doing fucking 100-meter races now. Do you know what I mean? You can't improve that. So it's in Ten Hag's system, he will not flourish. I would be extremely surprised if we're sat here in 8 months' time, 12 months' time, and he is in the team and he's a regular starter and he's performing really well. I'll hold my hands up if he doesn't, but I would, yeah. Like Dan says there, self-assessment is absolutely key. It's key. And it seems like he's just watching the good bits. It's like when they're doing video analysis, he's gone, Harry, do you want to watch this? He's like, nah. I just want to watch the bits where I'm performing well. That's it. So, yeah, someone needs to fucking grab hold of him and just have a word with him. He said, I am not concentrating on anybody else and what people are saying. I think if people can make a story about me, I am Manchester United captain. It is going to be make big news. So that is the reason they do it. They like the clicks and things like that. Why is he talking to Talksport? For me, it's obvious. A United captain will always make the headlines, of course. But when he's saying clicks and things like that, he's talking to the biggest clickbait media in the UK in Talksport. And he's coming up with that. It's kind of like, do you know where you are? Do you know who you're talking to? Talksport, of all people. Like, come on, mate. And then this last kind of quote really takes the biscuit. He said, I went to the Euros after an 8-week injury and did not play one game and got into the team in a tournament. In terms of rustiness and things like that, I am not sure that will happen. Oh, fucking hell. So he's absolutely positive. Even if he never plays for Manchester United again, he would still get into the England setup, which probably means he's had assurance from Southgate that even a rusty Maguire would still be our main centre-back heading into the Euro. How fucking crazy is that? Absolutely mental. I remember under Ollie in his first season, I would back him consistently to the hills because as a new signing, a new player, you spent a lot of money. You want to back him to the hills and you kind of find yourself making excuses for him like, oh, well, Ollie didn't really set the team up right. The players next to him haven't been performing. Luke Shaw's been out of form, so it's making him look bad and all this kind of stuff. And then, like, it gets like you're a year into it or 2 years into the sign and you're like, you can't defend him anymore. If you're a captain of Manchester United, you need to have, 7, 8 out of 10s every single game. And he doesn't do that. I beg anyone to just go on YouTube, right, and type in Harry Maguire defending or Harry Maguire mistakes and just watch how many times he fucks up consistently. It's absolutely unbelievable, honestly. Just watch how many times. I did an analysis last season, I think it was, around the December time, I think it was. And I checked how many times he fucked up and how many mistakes he's made. And it was about 18 times individually that he was at fault for someone scoring. Just be my guest after this show. Go check it out and watch. Just type in Harry Maguire mistakes. That's the video someone needs to show Maguire in the theatre. That's what he needs to look at. Absolutely terrible. So yeah, it's a tough one with him at the minute because I don't see a world of him getting back into the squad. I really don't. And I think Ten Hag doing what he did at the start of the season, where he kind of give Maguire the rope to hang himself, and I mean that obviously in a metaphorical sense. He gave him the rope. He was like, you know what? Look, go out there and show to me that you can be a United captain and show to me that you can perform at a top level. And he's gone, right, no worries, boss. And then the first 2 games we've lost, and every game he started, we have lost as well. Pretty damning stats. Zoe's media TV's in the cut. Shout out to yourself. Harry Maguire sounds like a Tory politician. He does, doesn't he? When he's waving his curtains to the side like that, and he's like, well, yeah, I think I've performed pretty well. I think I've done this. I've pretty done that. Like proper stuck up themselves. Fuck the Tories. That's what I say. Vincent Bullock, Slabby not good enough for Manchester United. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the fan base feel like that at the moment, don't they? They're not happy with him. And then look, you've got 2 absolute prestige centre-backs in Rafael Varane and Lisandro Martinez showing Maguire how it's done week in, week out. They are defenders. They are centre-backs. That is how you perform in a Manchester United team. And what Lisandro's doing is nothing short of absolute greatness at the minute. And he should be the captain, in my personal opinion. So I'm going to jump into Lisandro Martinez now. He played a full 90 minutes last night for Argentina in that beautiful purple kit. I'm not sure if anyone's seen it, but I'm actually tempted to get it myself, if I'm honest. And yeah, he performed really well. He got 90 minutes under his belt, as I said. And there's a few stats I want to jump into, but I'm going to do them a little bit later. I'm just going to discuss what Raymond van der Gaal has said. And anyone thinking, who the fuck is Raymond van der Gaal? He was actually a goal. He played for United. I think he only had like 67 appearances or something like that. But now he's a goalkeeper coach at PSV. So he's obviously come up against Lisandro when he played for Ajax over there. Every time, this is from Vincent Bullock. Every time I travel from Birmingham to Old Trafford and watch a game, I see Slabby's name in the team. I get very worried. Yeah, I imagine it's like a group kind of anxiety in there within the stadium at Old Trafford. As soon as you and Harry Maguire starting at centre back, everyone just goes, "Ooh, I'm not too sure about that." But yeah, coming back a little bit back to Lisandro Martinez, there's a few quotes I want to touch on that Raymond van der Gaal has said. Former United goalkeeper, now goalkeeper coach for PSV. He has been singing his praises, and he says with his character, he always wants to work, wants to fight, and wants to win, and that's typical of United. So I think he sounds like Maguire's dynamite, that, doesn't he? His character, work, fight, win. And he says, so I think he's in the right place and at the right club. I certainly think the stars have aligned with this transfer, with Erik ten Hag coming in, Lisandro Martinez coming in. It just feels right, and his talent is what we needed, but his mentality especially is absolutely priceless, and he has infected everyone in that team. I think you can see that. The thing that stuck out to me was when we played Arsenal at the start of September. Within the first minute, everyone's talking about Gabriel Jesus. He's going to tear it up. He's been in fucking flying form. United are going to struggle. Lisandro within the first minute puts in a heavy tackle on him and just looks at him like, what? Yeah, it's going to be like this for the next 90 minutes, mate. You're going to have a tough game. You better be fucking up for this game. And that is what centre-backs are all about. That is what Vidic did that all the time. You know, if you're a striker and you're coming up against the Nemanja Vidic in a game, you're like, this is going to be a fucking tough game. Unless you're Torres, of course. But everyone has the one-offs. Vida was one of them you do not want to come up against. So, yeah, I think the quote's absolutely spot on there. He said, I said to him, I hated you because you were good and was doing such a good job for Ajax. Now I love to see him play for Manchester United, and he is the kind of player who will never let you down on the show. I've said this many times before with Real Reds Talk on the show, speaking to Sam, Adam, Severe, Shreyas, and Dan. He would be he's captain material. He would be my captain. And I know we made the mistake of making Maguire captain within the first 6 months under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But just look at the body language, look at the mentality, look at how they go about a game, how they affect it. Lisandro's worlds apart. He's miles better on the ball. He's actually better in the air than him, and he's 5'9". The one thing you associate Harry Maguire with is being colossal and winning it in the air. And he's actually got, before he came to United, he had a similar aerial duel percentage, and the Eredivisie on average have a much taller kind of height limits. Not limit. What's the word I'm looking for? They had an overall average height that was much taller than the Premier League. I think it was like 6'1" or something. And Lisandro was doing bits in that league. So yeah, he's definitely a player you like to have in your team, and not against you. He's one of them. You know when you watch Diego Costa for Chelsea, and you just watch him and you think, I fucking hate him. I can't stand him. But if he was on your team, you would love him because he's putting in 110% every single game. He's getting on people's backs. He's being aggressive. And teams need that. Every team has that bit of bite, and you need it. It's absolutely essential. I don't think it gets spoken about enough, to be honest. If you're winning like Premier League titles and you want to win trophies, that you need that bite in your team. If you don't have that mentality, you're absolutely fucked. Let's jump into some comments. The philosophy in the club or international team should be like whoever performs well will get the chance. Now we have that in Manchester United. England is missing that. Exactly. Imagine putting Lisandro Martinez into England's back line. Imagine that. Like, it would transform it. We have terrible centre-backs, to be honest. John Stones is all right, but Joe Gomez is performing shit for Liverpool. Maguire, obviously, for us, we know the situation with that. And then he never puts in Tomori. Or never put, do you know what I mean? He never plays players like that. He's constantly picking his buddies and his favourite. And Southgate says he picks people on performance and how they're playing for the club. It's bullshit. Luke Shaw and Maguire have just gone to play them internationals. It's an absolute joke. But yeah, these I want to dive into some stats on Lisandro Martinez as well. So last night in the game against Honduras, he was the most accurate passer to play 45 minutes or more versus Honduras at 97% pass completion he had. So 65 out of 67 completed passes, which is super impressive and doesn't surprise me with him. He also got asked about the English press as well and said, I'm not even going to give you an ear to that. I trust in myself and I work on myself. Mic drop, boom, out of here. So perfect. Tomori and Sancho need to compete in the World Cup. Yeah, I agree. How has Jared Bowen been picked ahead of Sancho? Still doesn't make sense. Exactly. I think Southgate's done. We spoke about this last night again. And I think Southgate is done, to be honest, in this next tournament. When we play a big team like a Brazil or even a Spain or something like that, I think he will get exposed. Imagine Spain. And Spain under Enrique are actually doing all right and they look decent. And they're very good possession-based team. We'll just sit back and try and nick a goal. And it'll just be... I can envision it already. I could just see it. If he's taking Harry Maguire as his main centre-back, and even Luke Shaw, I would go as far to say, as his left-back, I think we're fucked in this World Cup. And I think Southgate will go. Who we bring in? I have no idea. But I seen a thing last night that we have lost 5 games in a row for the first time. I can't remember how long it was, but it's a significant stat where you're just like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, what the fuck is going on here? But the FA absolutely love and they pipe Southgate off. So he'll be here for the foreseeable until something drastic happens in the World Cup. I even think if we get to the quarterfinals or semi-finals and we lose and go out, they'll still stick behind fucking Southgate. Zoe Media's TV says the England team is still being picked by the media. And exactly. That was the point I was just making then. Yeah, it's not. It seems more political than actual picking people off performances, because let's be honest, as Shreya said before, Tomori should be in that team. Jadon Sancho should be in that team. Jadon Sancho has been in far better form than Jack Grealish or Jared Bowen, and both of them went and played. Just, yeah, do we need to say anything else on that situation? Let's move on to the last bit. So moving on to the last part of the show, 2 Dutch coaches have been talking to Sky Sports News about Erik ten Hag. Ronald Koeman, former Everton and Barcelona manager, said United realise they have to give Erik ten Hag time, and then United will come back. I'm sure of that. Jordi Cruyff, son of legendary Dutch legend Johan Cruyff, has said, with time, with patience, with the right moves on the transfer period, I'm sure they will get back to where they need to. And I think with Erik ten Hag at United, it's got a new air. It feels as if there's a new start. And yeah, they're pretty positive that he's going to do bits. And I am. I think the fan base is. I think Erik ten Hag, since he's come in, it does feel different this time. It definitely does feel different this time. He's made a lot of brave decisions. Let's have a look at it. Since he's come in, right, he's dropped Cristiano Ronaldo. He's dropped Harry Maguire. He started Marcus Rashford as a 9. He's playing McTominay over Casemiro. He's dropping Luke Shaw for Malacia. He's pushing the board for his specific transfers and won't take no for an answer. We've seen that, which, yes, we did overpay, but he wanted them for a specific reason. And most of the signings that we've brought in so far have done really well and have been first-team starters. When Ragnick left, or just as he was leaving towards the end of the season, he said in that press conference, didn't he, that the United probably need about 10 players. They need 10 to 20 players, not 20 players, 10 to 12 players, I think he said. And United board didn't like that, which is one of the reasons why they fucked him off, I believe. And we all agree with it. It was like, yeah, we do. Look at our squad. We're starting like Elanga and then players like Dan James under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Wan-Bissaka was playing constantly. Lindelof and Maguire as a pairing just didn't inspire you at all. So the players that he's brought in have just brought this like new wave of mentality, energy, and aggressiveness. Malacia has been phenomenal. Lisandro Martinez, who we touched on just then, of course, has been great. Bringing Varane back into the fold, putting him on his own specific training program so he's not getting injured as much. Little smart tweaks and details. Christian Eriksen as an 8 has been a revolution next to McTominay. He's made Bruno Fernandes play better. He's made McTominay played better, and that's because Ten Hag had worked with him before at Ajax, so he knew what he was capable of. And yeah, it's just every signing is hit the ground running pretty much. Anthony and Casemiro's side, who I do think will get to that level. So yeah, they've been super impressive. He's dealt with the Ronaldo situation, of course, over the transfer market. Ronaldo makes headlines regardless, and he was just every time he kept that at bay and was like, he's staying here, he's working with us, whatever happens, we move and we go forward. So he's that everything he's had thrown at him. I think a lot of people forget how much he's had on his plate. Honestly, he has dealt with so much, and obviously you expect that as United manager anyway, especially a situation that we was in when he came in. But he's been incredible, and I am super excited for his future under Erik ten Hag moving forward. I think if we can sort the scouting system out, as we touched on again in the show the other night, and we can get a proper, legit scouting system set up in a couple of countries, looking at young talents, bringing them in, mixed with experience and quality players, which you're going to have to invest every year. That's just how teams work anyway, because every other team invests. You have to keep up with them. But then you bring in young talents with that as well, and you have that nice blend. And that's how we move forward as a club. A few more comments I want to get into, and then I'll head off. Vincent Bullock, do you know why I think Sancho shouldn't be picked? It's because they've got own personal design pictures and shin pads given to them. If we scored that, be showing on Southgate's jealous. If football's all about opinion, you're entitled to opinion, Mr. Bullock. A team full of leaders and fighters is all we need to build. Absolutely, Dan. Agree with that. And Palestra started for Uruguay, played well. Yeah, young talents. Ahmad, Palestra, McNeil, would have been James Garner, but we sold him to Everton for whatever reason. But I'm not going to get into that. We could do that for a different show. We just need to start nurturing these talents now. And I think every young player looking at Erik ten Hag now, who's going to the games, by the way, the under-21 games and stuff like that, they'll be looking at him thinking, now there's an opportunity. Now there's a coach who can take me from that under-21s, under-18s or whatever and nurture me up until the very first squad. And I believe in ten Hag to do that. And I believe in ten Hag to be a success at Manchester United. So, yeah, thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I know it's a bit of a quick one, 20 minutes on a Saturday. But, yeah, there's a Maguire thing I wanted to discuss. Obviously, Lisandro and Erik ten Hag as well. So, thank you to everyone. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do. We're pushing for 600 subs, and we can only do that with your help. Check us out on social media as well. Just type in Real Reds Talk. You should be able to find us. And yeah, we'll see you. There should be a show tomorrow as well. So make sure you tune in for that. And we've got content every single day during the international break. Fun things, interactive things. So yeah, make sure you tune in for that. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Big up yourselves. Hope you all have a lovely weekend. Take care. Peace.